What the hell is this I'm reading in the morning? What the fuck? And I haven't read this elsewhere, so I'm just getting this. But it's Associated Press, so you know. So Feinberg will not fight the big banks on 1.6 billion in exec pay. And note, he only has the right to ask for it back anyway. They can't actually force it. But he says that I'm not suggesting we should blink or turn the other cheek, Feinberg said later. These 17 companies were singled out for obviously bad behavior. The question is, at what point are you piling on and going beyond what is warranted? You know, I used an example with a friend. I said, this is like if some kid robs their liquor store. You know, do they say, oh, well, we caught him and shamed him. He didn't have to give him the money back. And they point out, no, it's more like if the liquor commissioner robs a liquor store. And they say that. He could not force the banks to repay the money, but the law instructed him to negotiate with banks to return money if he determined that the pay packages were contrary to the public interest. So were they? He opted not to use. The leniency is a far cry from the bravado he used before. Yeah, this is why I have no faith in Obama now. This isn't hard. Asking them, they were shamed. No, shaming them is dragging them through the press and having them refuse to do what is obviously between right and wrong. They destroyed tons of people's lives. No, shaming isn't enough. And they still have money, and money is power, and they're going to have more businesses and more power and tell us more what to do in this world, because when you have money, you can pay people and they'll do it. And you could call it voluntary fine. The point is they've got the power still. And they're going to be the ones controlling jobs now, still, with that money. It's not in the public interest, obviously, because they have screwed us over. What? He said something else. This is stupid. He says his actions speak for himself. He's not on BP's side. Yeah. This is just so typical. This is what always happens, and then people will be, ooh, and then they forget about it. You know, this is why Julian Assange is so important, because who really wreaks havoc? You know, is it the hoodlums that throw a rock through your car while it's parked and vandalized? That'll piss you off, okay? These people that ruin the banks, there's old people going to go hungry. There's people who have lost their savings, can't have a living, lose their jobs. You know, BP, the people along the coast that had nothing to fucking do with, the people that work for BP, they lost their job. At least they were taking a risk in the oil industry. A bunch of fishermen in Louisiana, they're losing their whole culture, their whole way of life. These corporate criminals, it doesn't matter that, but they were just trying to make oil. They didn't want to throw rocks through clumsy cars. They did more damage. What don't you guys get about, not you actually on YouTube, I mean, but you people putting up with the citizens about the fact that they are materially destroying things. It's not a moral situation like, but he realizes he was wrong. I don't care if he realizes he was wrong or not. I want this shit to stop happening.